One of the biggest reasons that relationships fail isn't lack of love, it's a lack of honest conversation. Most couples don't actually break up because of one big problem. They break up because of hundreds of small conversations that never happened. Things that were avoided, feelings that were suppressed, needs that were never expressed. And over time, silence turns into resentment. The truth is, hard conversations are not what destroy relationships. Avoiding them is. In this video, we're going to talk about why people avoid difficult conversations in relationships, the psychology behind conflict avoidance, how to approach difficult topics without escalating into arguments, and how healthy couples actually use hard conversations to strengthen their connection. Because if you don't learn how to talk about uncomfortable things, the relationship slowly becomes emotionally unsafe. Part number 1, why people avoid hard conversations. Most people avoid hard conversations for one of 3 reasons. The first reason is fear of conflict. Some people grew up in environments where conflict meant yelling, emotional chaos, or rejection. So their nervous system learns something very important. Conflict equals danger. When that happens, your brain tries to protect you by avoiding confrontation completely. You stay quiet, you tolerate behavior that bothers you, and you tell yourself that it's not a big deal. But those feelings don't disappear. They accumulate. The second reason people avoid hard conversations is fear of losing the relationship. Many people believe that if they bring up something uncomfortable, the other person might leave. So they sacrifice honesty to maintain connection. But here's the problem. A connection built on silence is fragile. Eventually, the truth comes out anyway. And the third reason is lack of communication skills. Most people were never taught how to express their needs without attacking, blaming, or escalating the situation. So when they finally speak up, it comes out emotionally charged, and the conversation becomes a fight instead of a resolution. Part number 2, why hard conversations are actually healthy. A healthy relationship isn't defined by the absence of conflict. It's defined by the ability to navigate it. Every relationship between 2 human beings will eventually face difficult conversations. Different needs, different expectations, different emotional experiences. Those differences are normal. The real test of the relationship is whether both people feel safe enough to talk about them. Hard conversations actually build intimacy when they're handled correctly. Why? Because vulnerability creates understanding. When you express what you truly feel without attacking the other person, you create an opportunity for deeper connection. You're not just sharing facts, you're sharing your internal experience. And when 2 people feel heard and understood, trust grows. But that only happens when conversations are approached with emotional maturity instead of ego. Part number 3, how hard conversations go wrong. Most difficult conversations fail because they start with blame. For example, you always do this. You never listen. You're the problem. Statements like this immediately trigger defensiveness. When someone feels attacked, their brain shifts into protection mode. Now the conversation isn't about understanding anymore. It becomes about defending themselves. Another mistake people make is bringing up multiple issues at once. Instead of addressing one specific concern, the conversation turns into a list of everything that has ever gone wrong. And that overwhelms the other person. Finally, many people try to have serious conversations when emotions are already running high. When you're angry, hurt, or frustrated, your nervous system is in fight or flight mode. And when you're in that state, productive communication becomes almost impossible. So timing matters. Emotional regulation matters. Without those things, the conversation turns into a battle instead of a solution. Part number 4, how to have hard conversations the right way. Healthy communication starts with intention. Before having a difficult conversation, ask yourself one question. Am I trying to understand, or am I trying to win? If your goal is to win the argument, the relationship loses. If your goal is understanding, the conversation becomes constructive. The second step is learning to communicate your feelings without blame. Instead of saying, "You never make time for me," try saying, "I've been feeling disconnected lately, and I'd really like for us to spend more intentional time together." Do you notice the difference? major. One creates defense, the other invites collaboration. The third step is listening, real listening, not waiting for your turn to speak, but actually trying to understand the other person's experience. Healthy conversations require emotional curiosity. You're not just expressing your perspective, you're trying to understand theirs as well. And sometimes the solution isn't about who's right or wrong. It's about finding compromise that respects both people's needs. Hard conversations are uncomfortable. There's no way around that, but avoiding them doesn't protect the relationship. It slowly damages it. Healthy relationships are built on honesty, emotional safety, and the willingness to face difficult topics together. The goal isn't to eliminate conflict. The goal is to learn how to navigate it with maturity and respect. If you constantly avoid hard conversations, or if your conversations always turn into arguments, there's usually a deeper communication pattern underneath that. And those patterns can be changed. And if you're serious about improving your relationship skills and breaking unhealthy patterns, I work privately with a small number of people to help them develop secure communication and healthier relationship dynamics. You can learn more about that in the link below. And if this video helped you, make sure to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this, because the conversations you're avoiding today often become problems that end relationships tomorrow.